Hey guys, Superhorrorbro Mike here, and in today's video we're going to be reacting and then analysing the brand new video from Mob Games about Poppy Playtime. Now this video is called Restricted Disappearance 6/18/1992, so obviously the 18th of June 1992, and on the front of the thumbnail it's got Huggy Wuggy looking really terrifying. It seems like this is going to be some kind of found footage movie of some kind, so we'll take a look at it, then I'll do a quick analysis and we'll talk about what we've seen. I'm hoping this ties into chapter 3 and is kind of like the Mommy Longlegs pre-release trailer that they had for that game, which were released roughly a month before chapter 3, so this could mean that Poppy Playtime chapter 3 is coming sometime in February or March, and I really hope that's the case. I'm also thinking maybe if this is the same type of trailer, this will start the chapter, this will start chapter 3. But with all of that said, let's dive in, check Restricted out, and see what this video is all about. Okay, so we're in a car. Ominous.
We've got eyes on 1170. He's heading south along the utility vehicle route. What exactly do we do here?
Okay, give us a sec. We're gonna try and cut him off at the crossing up ahead. Keep him from getting onto public roads. Keep tailing him for now, and keep us updated.
It seems like an experiment's escaped here. Yeah, look. It says, I'm gonna pause this so we can read it, guys. It says 10:27 PM. On the 18th of June 1992, Experiment 1170 exits the facility through an open delivery bay door in the production wing. 2 staff members witness the incident and hit the emergency alarm. And we can see this is Cam 41, it's in the warehouse, and I'm guessing Experiment 1170 is Huggy Wuggy. I can't remember, it's been so long since I covered the game. I can't remember if that's the right experiment, but I think it is. So do we get to see him leave? Through the, yeah, there we go, he's on the camera. It is Huggy indeed, escaping. This is another camera outside of the main factory. So 10:30 PM, let's pause this again. All available security staff and vehicles are mustered and begin pursuit of 1170. By this time, 1170 was estimated to have travelled a half mile from the facility. Basically, we're now half a mile from the facility. We obviously had security cameras just outside monitoring where he escaped from. Now we're jumping ahead to half a mile away. Let's see what happens.
Okay, we see him. Brace yourselves, everyone.
Oh. Oh man, this is actually kind of creepy. It's like Blair Witch up in here. Oh man, wow, okay. Came out of nowhere. A gunfight ensued. Here we go. So 10:38 PM, the security team attempts to block and surround 1170 at a railroad crossing. 3 rounds of tranquilizer darts are fired, and 1170 is hit once in the left leg. 1170 manages to flee into the woods. So they tried to stop him, but they were unsuccessful. The music's really ominous and creepy and spooky now. The security team splits into 2 small groups and continues after 117 on foot. Okay, so they've set up little cameras around the forest area, it seems. They obviously don't want Huggy to get into the general population. Oh, there he is in the trees. So it seems these cameras just record like a second here and there because we see him like jumping around. 10:50 PM to 3:38 AM. The search area expands to over 4 square miles, extending into nearby residential areas. Oh no, he's getting into the residential areas, guys. Outside of effective range, the security team's radios become unreliable. So this is someone filming, I think from like their body cam or something. Got a dead moose there, look at that. It's been savaged by Huggy, he's just killed it. Check all the corners. I think I just saw him in the trees actually just there as we panned past. Oh! Can we see him? Man, I'm kind of nervous. Oh, I think I just saw him actually in the trees. Oh! Okay, that was scary. During the search, several staff are killed by 1170. Even more go missing. And they've had to redact the images of the people. Because it's too gruesome to show, so they've censored it. Total casualties, 5 dead and 6 missing, and these are all the people that are either dead or missing. Guessing they're staff. What the heck? Is that his roar? It takes nearly 4 hours to relocate and sedate 1170. Oh, let's read this. How 117 was able to access the ventilation system without security's realization is beyond me. It's his only blind luck that we found him before someone else did, and it cost us lives. The innovation department is not happy. I am not happy, and that's from Leif Pierre, Playtime co-head of innovation. And Leif Pierre seems to be behind a lot of these things, doesn't he? He seems to be behind a lot of the goings on. He was even the narrator for the online game, you know, for the multiplayer game Project Playtime that just came out. So he's heavily involved in everything here. Let's just continue. Oh man, he's outside the house. I just noticed I was like looking then, that final shot of the house. I was kind of like looking to see, you know, what was there, and then I finally just saw Huggy was stood by the house at the end. That's kind of creepy. And that's the whole video, guys. So it seems like there's not too much hidden in there from what I can see on a first watch, but we will go back through it. But I just want to say, like, with that video, I like the tone that they're setting with this game. It seems like Poppy Playtime has never been quite as family friendly as some of the other like mascot type horror games, right? Like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's kind of got some gore to it, like we saw with Chapter 2 in the Mommy Longlegs scene. And it has these weird sort of analog horror style found footage videos tied into it and adverts tied into it that have this really creepy 90s feel to them. I really like the way they're going with it. They're not trying to like pander too much to like a child audience with it, even though it has an appeal to a younger audience, of course. And I like that they're leaning into a bit of a gory aspect with it and a more adult aspect with it. As, you know, an adult, it appeals to me more that way. This definitely was a really cool like piece of marketing material they've made. And again, I hope that this means Chapter 3 is close. We'll go back through it quickly and just see what we can see again. But I think we picked up on most things first time through, probably. So first of all, this is a video about Huggy Wuggy escaping, Project 1170 escaping, and potentially being under the control of the prototype experiment, which I think is 1006 if I remember correctly. We see in Project Playtime that the prototype seems to be taking control of the minds of the other experiments and getting them to do like kind of vicious and hostile things. But it may be that, you know, Huggy just escaped of his own will because he was being experimented on and didn't like that. Now I've speculated, of course, that these toys may have the souls of other workers trapped inside them. I feel like that was kind of corroborated well with information we got in Chapter 2 about Mommy Longlegs and the person who was associated with her. And also in Project Playtime, we had the Bigger Bodies Initiative mentioned, which was an initiative which seemed to be putting workers into bodies of toys to, you know, keep the workforce down and have these big, strong entities that were being created in Playtime Factory doing a lot of the jobs for them. So if it is in fact workers' souls trapped inside the bodies of these toys, then it does explain why we see at the very end of the trailer, Huggy Wuggy stood in front of a house. I believe that maybe he was heading back to this house because this house was the place he lived when he was a worker at the Playtime Factory, and it was kind of instinctive for him to head back to this house and stand outside it. Now, that could be just me overly thinking it through, you know, overly speculating, but I do feel it makes sense. Huggy was heading out of the factory with some kind of purpose, beelining for his old home. He gets back to it, that's where they catch up to him and find him, sedate him and bring him back to the factory. And if it is a worker trapped inside his body, it's kind of instinctual to go back to the house that he used to live at. Another point that we can maybe take from this trailer is the fact that it's very focused on Huggy Wuggy, who is a character written out of the game at the end of Chapter 1 when of course he fell down into the depths of a facility, never to be seen again, or so we thought. In Chapter 2 we did catch glimpses of fur and bloodstains that led up to a vent, almost like Huggy had fallen down, damaged himself badly, but survived the fall somehow, and then crawled up into a ventilation shaft to heal up, and then come back stronger than ever, perhaps in another chapter later down the line. The fact we're seeing him again in this trailer before the release of Chapter 3 makes me think that maybe he will come back. He is of course the poster child for this game series, so it would be odd if he only ever appeared in the first chapter. So we'll have to wait and see, guys, but I think this is a good indication that we're going to see Huggy return in a future chapter of the game. Outside of that, we also see Total Casualty 5 Dead 6 Missing, and these seem to be either workers at the Playtime Factory on the security side of things who work for Leif Pierre. Potentially also, they could be general residents, people that were living out in the world as well. We don't get clarification on that because there are no names here. But these people potentially could all have been working for Leif Pierre. Now, Leif Pierre is the head of security, but he's also coined head of innovation in this trailer, and that's interesting because it means he is in charge of the innovation side of the company which is the making of all of these experiments. I don't think Leif Pierre is like the big bad, the main guy in charge of all these horrific things. I think he's the front man. He's the guy that's hiring security. He's the guy that's making sure everything's running smoothly. But I think the big sort of bad, so to speak, the main villain of the game is still to be revealed properly and is probably working behind the scenes as a scientist, potentially the scientist we keep hearing as we go through the game. He is the person orchestrating everything, with Leif being the front man, basically making sure everything runs smoothly. That's just my hunch currently. Outside of this, we also have a map which shows where the Playtime Co factory is in relation to residential areas. It shows there's a lot of land around the Playtime factory which doesn't seem to be populated by anyone, so it means that they owned quite a wide radius of land around the actual factory itself, probably to make sure no one was snooping into their experiments, nobody was hearing noises in the night and wondering where they were coming from, so they could do everything very secretively under the cover of darkness, so to speak, with nobody poking around, looking over a fence to see what they were doing. We can also see this is set in June of 1992, and this means it's way before the events of the main game where we step into the shoes of this protagonist exploring the factory. This suggests to me that this is before potentially even Mommy Longlegs had been made into a monstrous toy herself, and Huggy obviously being one of the early experiments. It shows him escaping from the factory. It shows that security was lacking in these early days. But in terms of this trailer, that's all I can really cover today, guys. I think we've had a look at everything interesting here. I'm really excited for Chapter 3 still, and I hope that will release soon. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it is coming soon, and that's why this trailer has released. With that said, guys, if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you think this is all about, and of course subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I will see you all on the next one.